People talking about people. It's NFL free agency rumor season. Scope. What is up, Bengals fam? It's your boy Mike coming back at you with another Who Daily. I want to talk to you guys about specifically the Bengals offensive line, these free agency rumors, trade rumors, all this crazy shit. Specifically, I want to talk about kind of a dream scenario that I have of the Bengals. Like, if I were the GM and if I were Duke Tobin and the Brown family, Katie and Mike, told me, hey, go do it. You got no handcuffs, no restrictions. Don't worry about the future payroll. Don't worry about it. Go get your guys. Protect Joe Burrow. I'll tell you what I would do in that scenario, and I'll tell you a realistic scenario, which is going to be probably closer to what they actually do, because if you watched my video yesterday, if you haven't, go check it out. I talk about how the Bengals' strategy building a roster is really a middle-class strategy, right? And I'm going to keep telling you guys this because it's going to always keep coming back around. What that means is that they're not going to go and they don't really make tier 1 day one free agency signings. It just doesn't really happen. What they do, and the reason they don't, is because the numbers on those things are massive. The year one impact, the money out, the cash paid in year one of those contracts puts them in a bind, and they can't pay. They don't like to restructure their deals, right? So when you sign a deal with the Bengals, it's a contract, and they like to honor it. They don't like to go back and say, hey man, actually we're in a bit of a pickle this year. We need to go ahead and restructure a contract and put some on the back, put some money on the back end. They don't like doing that, and that's actually a perk of signing with the Cincinnati Bengals that they're able to use when they're going out and shopping for free agents, right? So they don't want to mess with that too much, and I respect it. So what that means is they go out and they pay. They wait for the market to settle a little bit, so they know more what the numbers look like, and then they go get guys like Larry Ogunjobi, guys like Riley Reef, right? They go get guys who are affordable, that match their scheme, that aren't going to break the bank, so that they can pay the rest of their players. But check it out. Here are the two scenarios. Dream scenario number 1 would be, first and foremost, go trade for Laramie Tunsil. I don't know if they're interested in doing this. I don't know what the ask is going to be for Laramie Tunsil. I would be hesitant to give up a first round pick for any player. I think first round picks are super valuable, especially if you're good at evaluating. But whatever, let's say it does take that. Whatever, do it. Go get Laramie Tunsil. Reason being is he's relatively young. You can lock him up, and that's what I would do. If I traded for him, I would start negotiating a long-term contract immediately. I would try to lock him up to be my left tackle for as long as Joe Burrow plays in Cincinnati. Then I would go out and in free agency, I would sign Trent Brown, the free agent right tackle from New England. He's a huge human being. He's 6'8", 380 pounds. He's basically the size of Daniel Falele in this draft, that monster offensive lineman out of Minnesota, right? He's about that size, but he's young too, and I think he's like 26, or no, he's 28, going to be 29, but he's able to move that big frame around, and he puts up a really good an 80. He would be the second best pass blocking player on the team if they got him. You need that right tackle locked down. You get a little bit younger. You let Riley Reef go. Hope he retires or cut him, whatever you need to do. And you got your right tackle. Then I would move Jonah Williams into guard. He's got more of an NFL guard frame anyway. He's really athletic. He's got shortish arms for a left tackle. So playing him at left guard and getting him out in space more often, I think would be a good move for him. I even in this dream scenario, I'm keeping Jackson Carman at right guard, and the reason is because you need a young guy on a rookie contract playing on this offensive line that's going to be the part of the future with Jonah Williams. So you can think of these guys as more, if in this scenario, Tunsil would be around for a long time, so would Trent Brown. But I like Jackson Carman. I don't think he. I think he played injured. I think he had to battle for a spot. I think the Bengals. I think Frank Pollock was pushing him and testing him and saying, "Hey, you don't just get the spot just because we drafted you in the second round, right?" So I think he takes a step. He's big, athletic. He's too kind of big and athletic to really flame out at right guard. He's only 22 years old. I think so we got to keep giving him a shot for now. But last step, sign Ryan Jensen to play center. You do this, yes, you're locking up a lot of money in that offensive line, but that is the dream scenario. The Bengals aren't going to do this, okay? But dream scenario, that would be awesome. More realistic scenario, let's move on to that. What would the Bengals do in a more kind of realistic scenario? I think they still, even part of the realistic scenario, I still think it's realistic they sign Ryan Jensen. He's not I think he's actually older than Trey Hopkins. But centers tend to be able to play, the good ones anyway, into their mid-30s. But Ryan Jensen would be a huge upgrade at center. He makes everyone around him better automatically. So that's step one on the realistic. Then I go and I think I would sign a young tier 2 left guard, a young tier 2 style left guard. These are guys like Austin Corbett, James Daniels from the Bears, he's like 24. Connor Williams from the Cowboys, he's like 25. I think of those, I would rather have, I don't know, I like James Daniels a lot, but Corbett is really good. I wouldn't be mad with either one of those. Connor Williams kind of flashes really, really bad technique on certain plays and overextends and gets embarrassed sometimes, quite honestly. So if they can work that out, if they can improve his balance and keep him on his feet more, Connor Williams I would be fine with. But you get a young tier 2 guy to play left guard. You still keep Carman at right guard, and then you go ahead and you say, right, if he doesn't retire, Riley Reif at right tackle, but you have him compete with Isaiah Prince. Go look at Isaiah Prince's tape for the last the playoff run and the last 4 games or so of the regular season. He was good. Not just okay, he was a good right tackle for the last part of last season. I think that he's a really good insurance policy to have on your team. He may win out the spot, to be honest with you. You also have Deontay Smith. I don't know that he plays right tackle as well as he plays guard. I think he projects more as a right guard, but even in these two scenarios, have Deontay Smith pushing Jackson Carman. Have them battle it out. Who's going to win that spot? But ideally, guys, the ideal scenario here is that you don't, along this Bengals offensive line, whatever they do, and I don't think they're going to make a huge splash. If they go and trade for Tunsil, which I really don't see them doing, but if they go and do that, or say they trade, if they trade for a starting left tackle, that's going to end up being expensive. I think they pump the brakes on making a huge, like a second big signing. They go with more tier 2 type guys the rest of the way. But ideally, you don't want any rookies starting on the offensive line next year at all. So people are saying, well, you got to draft. This is why I've been harping on this. They're gonna go defense probably in the first 2 rounds, not just because that's where the value is in this draft, but also because they're not going to draft somebody to be starting. They're not going to be looking for a starter along the offensive line, or they shouldn't be. The only kind of exception to this would honestly be if someone like Trevor Penning or Kenyon Green or Zion Johnson happen to slide. These are, I think these are plug-and-play type starters on this offensive line. I think all 3 of those guys are better than Jackson Carman. I think Trevor Penning might be a plug-and-play right tackle, like, immediately, and an improvement there. But I don't see those guys being there. All these guys put up really, really good. Kenyon Green's pro day Kenyon Green's athletic testing numbers weren't like stellar, but his tape and grading is so good that you kind of overlook it a little bit. And Trevor Penning was just his tape's amazing, his grading's amazing, and he put up just ungodly type numbers at his athletic testing. And Zion Johnson also tested really well. So you bring these guys. If one of those guys are there, I guess, yeah, go ahead and take him for sure. They are going to draft at least 2 offensive linemen. I just don't think it's going to be at the top. It's definitely not. I don't think, I would be so surprised if they took an offensive lineman at 31 overall. I actually think the value, unless one of these guys slides, but I actually think the value in this draft for the Bengals is to trade back. I think there's going to be a team at the top of the second round who may be looking to jump up and grab a quarterback. This isn't a quarterback-heavy draft, so I think there will be quarterbacks available at 31 when the Bengals pick that people may want to jump ahead of other teams in order to get. And if you can trade back and grab some extra picks in this draft, that might be the way to go. And they'll probably still get the guy they're targeting, to be honest with you. And the only way I don't do that, like I said, is if one of these offensive linemen slide down and it's just he's too good to pass up in that spot. But that's going to do it for today, guys. I just wanted to take you through kind of what the rumor mills are. There have been rumors that the Bengals are almost a lock to get Ryan Jensen, to sign Ryan Jensen. There have been rumors that they're involved in trade talks for several players. Basically, I wanted to show you guys kind of what my thinking was on it, what kind of a dream scenario might be, other than like creating a time machine and going and getting, Anthony Munoz to play for you. The kind of dream scenario for right now, and then a more realistic scenario, which I think is really what is going to end up happening. Until next time, guys, I've been Mike. This has been Who Daily. Peace.